Okay, this is another part in the 2.5 carb conversion. I said previously that I would go ahead and give you a little bit of an explanation on wiring the alternator and when I actually have it done. So here it is. This is a CS130 standard Chevrolet alternator that you would see on a normal pickup. Though the S10 alternators in this date range from 87 to I think mid 90s, they don't wire it the same as the full-size pickup trucks or the cars. This brown wire coming out of the plug goes through an idiot light or a diode or a resistor. We just went ahead on the skid steer, just use the factory charging light up there, and it does function like it should. But if you're doing this in an S10, you would either wire this through a resistor, a diode, or the factory one on the dash. And then this pink wire, I was fairly uncertain until I found one wiring diagram. This right here goes to ignition power on, not constant. This goes to really the same power source that the brown wire would go to on the accessory side of your ignition switch, so it doesn't feed back and not being able to shut the engine off. And I previously explained how the HEI works, so I might go ahead and write up a diagram and put it in the video. And also, they had a wire the starter. There it is. It's wired just like a normal Chevy starter. It's actually very similar motor enough that you can actually swap the back half of it and use the original nose cone if you want to go with a high torque starter. There is, hopefully you can see in the shot, the big battery lug that comes off the battery. And for our purposes, we went ahead and looped the ignition solenoid wire back on to the starter lug coming from the battery. So it's wired just like a Chevy starter, and then we came back through the battery cable up to a Ford style solenoid, and you would just put a smaller wire so you don't have to use a big 10 gauge wire like a normal Chevy ignition switch to actually start this thing. Then again, I will probably put a diagram up for that too if I can remember. So far, the engine starts and runs fairly decent with the Holly 2-barrel on it, as previously discussed. And so yeah, just something I should give you an update for the carb conversion 2.5, just in case you're actually doing this in a truck or doing it in a skid steer just like we are. So thanks everybody, bye.